Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Darian, and today this video is going to be on the beauty of the pit. If you are not familiar with what the pit means, I'm going to be referencing the story of Joseph for this video because I recently read it and I just had like fresh revelation from it, and that's a story I just love just to go back to because I feel like I personally have some similarities when it comes to that story, and I just feel like it's just so much goodness that you can take from it. And also in my own personal life, I have had my own situation when I was in the pit, and I've been able to really grasp the lessons from my own situation and be able to even compare some to this story. So the pit of life is referencing that low place that you are in, the place that nobody hopes to go to, the place that everybody prays that they never see. But the reality of life is that there's so many seasons. We never know what season is next. Sometimes we kind of know. We hope and we can see the signs to know what's coming next. But as far as like just life can be unpredictable. So here is some encouragement and some wisdom for that season. If you have gone into it, or maybe you feel like you're about to go into it, you've been battling some things, and also even if you have not been in a season, I feel like you can never have too much wisdom when it comes to things in life. You can always have the knowledge to help you be prepared on your journey. So let's get into the video. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and jump in. I personally am not going to give like a recap of the story because I feel like the story it's not super long, but like going into it will take up a lot of time. But I definitely recommend reading the story. It's one of my favorites because I can identify with some of the things in it, but you can still take in these lessons even without reading the story. Okay, so let's get into the beauty of being in the pit. The first thing I wrote down is that you get to see the hearts of the people around you. I think that this is something that is pretty known, that when you are in good seasons, when you are in seasons where things have not gone down to the pit, it's easy to have people around you. It's easy to have people in your corner. And even if you're not at like the highest place that you feel like you should be, sometimes people can see things on you. They can feel things on you, and they don't know why they're attracted to you. They don't know why they want to be around you, but usually it could be favor. It could be that they see where you're going. It could be that they can see that you're different. So it can be easy to attract people to you. And when things are going good, there's no tension in life, there's no stress in life. You don't need help from anybody. You don't need help seemingly. But once you're in that pit, you get to see who is really there for you. And in this particular case, the people around him, which was actually his brothers, his family, were the ones who threw him in the pit. So it's one thing when, life just shifts and things just seemingly start to go bad. But when you have people that you love that throw you in that pit, that assist you being in that pit, I think that's a whole nother level of hurt and pain that you experience when you go through a hard season. I love that this story talks about his brothers because I think sometimes we look at people on different pedestals. So we may think because this is family, this would never happen, or because this is, a close friend, this would never happen, or, I think a lot of times we're conditioned to believe that a lot of the betrayals and hurts that we will experience will be from people that don't actually love us or know us. But in life, it's actually those people that know you, that love you, that can actually hurt you. Or I guess not really fully love you, because those who love you will not do certain things to you. Those who truly love you from a godly love, a love that is pure, will not do certain things. But the situation that Joseph was in, it allowed him to see that the very people that were his kin, the very people that was with him day and night, that knew him the most, were the very people who threw him in that pit. So when you are thrown in a pit, I'm speaking metaphorically here, you may not literally be thrown in a pit, but when you are thrown in a pit and you have nobody surrounding you, all you're left with your thoughts and emotions and wondering why you're in that pit, that is the perfect time when you start having those thoughts of who is there, who is not there, how did you get in the pit, what events led up to this circumstance. And even if there were people responsible for you being in the pit, or it just was a season where you just are in a low place, did anybody come help you out of that pit? Did anybody think about you that, you know, this person, I love this person, I know this person, whether it's friend, family, it could even not be a super close relationship like that. But when you are down, that is the perfect opportunity to see who really cares about you. Because when you are down, when you have nothing to give, when all you have is just you in a broken space, the people who acknowledge that and give you a helping hand in that time, those are the people that truly love you. Those are the people that truly care, okay? When you have nothing to give them, when there's no benefits for them being around you, those are usually the people that you need to keep around, that you need to keep close. The people that have no motive for you being in their life. With the years that I have been on this earth, I have come to find that a lot of times the relationships around us are built on familiarity. So we get used to the people that's around us. We get used to the connections that we have in life. But the test of time, the test of life, the struggles, the hard seasons are what really allow us to see who is truly there for us. And if you have someone who literally is okay with throwing you in a bad season, with harming you emotionally, physically, even mentally, that is a clear sign that that probably should not be a person in your life. So the pit is an exposer. It exposes the motives of those around you. Okay, you guys, so let's get into the next thing, and that is that personal character is revealed. So when you are in a low place, when you are in a pit, it's easy to have a negative attitude. It's easy to be angry at the world, angry at everybody else around you. It's easy to play the blame game, and very much so, it may be somebody else's fault that led you in the pit. Whether it was your coworker did something and got you fired, or you had a friend betrayal or family betrayal, or maybe you lost this, lost that. Things could go so many ways that could cause a person to be in a season where they feel like they're in a pit. But when you are in that season and you choose to have the right perspective, which again is not an easy thing, okay? That is a process. That is something that you work towards each and every day while you're in that season. But not only that, but you allow your character to stay good. When we are in tough seasons, when we are in bad seasons, when things are done to us that seem unfair, that are unjust, it is so easy to become the people that hurt you. It is so easy to become what happened to you. And so when you choose to not do that, when you choose to not allow a season of being in the pit to tarnish your character, when you choose to not allow the season of being in the pit to make you go backwards or revert back to, maybe let's just say, not the best versions of yourself, do you know how much strength that takes? It is so easy to turn into what happened to you. It is so easy to do what others have done to you that were not good. But it takes a lot to remain in good character, and it takes a lot to not get back at people, to not blame, to not sit in that low place and let that become, you know, life for you now. It takes a lot to not allow that season to turn your heart. So in this particular story, I did want to mention this. So Joseph had been sold by his brothers as a slave, but originally they were going to take him out, okay? They were going to take him out. It was God's grace and mercy that they didn't end up taking him out, because it actually says that they envied him. They envied him. So they were trying to get him out of here. Like, who you think you is? You think you're going to be above us and do all these great things and be above us? So they was ready to get rid of him because of their own jealousies and envy. But once he was sold as a slave and once he was in prison, one thing that I find so noble about Joseph in this story is that, again, he could have been mad. He could have not talked to the other people in there. He could have had a stank attitude. He could have been like, this ain't fair. So, what y'all looking at? Leave me alone. Letting what happened to him just take over his whole life. But guess what? I'm sure it still hurt. I'm sure he had his moments, emotional moments. He still chose to befriend other people there, talk to them, help them with their situations. That ended up leading him to be blessed even more. If he would have never communicated with these people, who knows where his life would have ended up? Who knows if he would have actually gotten out of these places and been elevated to the higher places. So actually having a positive attitude, because the other people in there, what he had to go through, they didn't cause that. So him actually being willing to just have a positive attitude and talk to others and not allow what happened to him to cause him to turn away, it ended up working out in his favor. He still chose to use his gifts to bless other people. Let's move into the next point, and that is that when you're in the pit of life, when you're in the low place, that is usually a pivotal time, a prime time for you to discover so many gifts and the different things inside of you that makes you you. So in our everyday lives, when life is going well, when we're not having any problems, when our focus is on here, there, work, school, this, that, and a third, we're not thinking about personal development all the time. When you're so busy with everyday life, you're just going. So you're not sitting there. Most people aren't. I won't say that nobody is, but most people aren't sitting there just cultivating their gifts and know all the different things inside of them. So for me personally, I know that when I was in the low season, when I was in a low place, that is when I went to go seek God. And in me seeking God, he started to reveal so many things about me. And not even in a negative way. He started to reveal different gifts. He started to reveal just so many different things about my life, what is coming for the future for my life, and the things and the plans that he has for me. But if I would have never gotten in that low season, I'm just being real, I probably wouldn't have sought him how I sought him in those seasons. I probably wouldn't have gone deep with him how I went in those seasons. So the beauty of that was that I got closer to God, and in me getting closer to God, I started to discover so many different things about myself that now I'm able to use in these seasons when I'm not in the pit, when I'm not in that low place. This is a thing that I also really love, and now it makes sense for me to take in my life. Joseph, when he was in prison, ended up using his gift of dream interpretation. So that gift of interpretation that he used on the other people that were in the situation that he was in ended up unlocking doors for him later down the line. And he was remembered by one of the guys that was in the situation that he was in the prison. And the guy ended up working for the top person in line for the country. So once the guy that was in prison with him said, hey, I know this guy. I remember this guy. Again, back to the character thing. Still being willing to be kind to others. And, not just let your situation stop you from progressing forward with other people. So once he said, hey, I know this guy that was in prison that can help you with this, that opened a door of opportunity for Joseph. So he was using his gift back then for the person that was in prison with him, but that was an opportunity for him to strengthen his gift and grow in his gift. So now when it's time for him to go to the first man in charge, the commander in charge, he has already been using his gift. So his gift is strengthened to be used at this prime time for him to be elevated to the palace. When you use your gifts while you're in the low place, once you get to the high place, because you're so used to using your gifts, it makes it easier for you to just be able to shine in that gift at the right time when it's time for you to be elevated, when you're amongst the people that can take you higher. Okay, let's move into the next thing I have, and that is that when you are in the pit, when you are in that low place, you make room for and get to appreciate the place of elevation. So it's kind of hard to elevate when all you know in life is that you've always been at top, or you feel like even if you're not at the top, once we're in that high place in our mind where we feel good about life, it can be harder for us to appreciate as we start to go up the ladder because we're so used to being in a good space. And so when that another good space opens up, sometimes we can start to take those things for granted. So when we are in the pit of life, again, it allows us to ponder on life. It allows us to really take in different things in life that we probably would not take in if we're in a high place or when we're in a high place. So being in the pit allows you to open up room for elevation, literally, because once you go down, you have to go back up. The only other option is to go back up. And then also, once you have been down, there's some life lessons you learn getting in the mud and being in the pit and being in a low place that you just won't learn, or the effect of learning it won't be the same as if when you're in that high place. A lot of times in the low season is where gratitude is built. Let's say you come from a very impoverished place, like that's how you grew up, and you couldn't help it. You just were born, and that is where you grew up. Once you start to make a greater amount of money, or once, let's just say, you become wealthy, that time when you only were able to eat a certain thing, or you only were able to afford a certain thing, teaches you how to manage, how to make use of what you have. So now when you're wealthy, because you have learned to manage at a lower scale, you take that life skill with you to the wealthy place of learning to manage your funds and learning to allocate. Maybe you won't blow through funds as much being wealthy because you've had to go through what it is like to maybe not have as much. So it taught you how to really allocate your funds or really take care of different things in your life in a different way than if you would have never gone through that situation. Okay, so this next thing I love because I have been able to see this for my life. Even in the pit, nobody can stop you from what is for you. Nobody can stop you from the blessings that God has for you. Only you can. So his brothers, when they threw him in the pit, again, they were trying to take him out and get rid of him so he couldn't fulfill destiny. So what he saw in his dream wouldn't be able to come to pass. But that's why I believe it was the grace of God that didn't allow them to take him out. So when Joseph was sold as a slave, and then he went through going to prison because somebody else in another season basically lied on him and slandered his name, and then he got imprisoned. So when he was in those different seasons, you may think like, oh, he had this dream that he's supposed to be in this high place. Well, these things happen to him. How is he going to still get there? But literally with those things happening to him, all they did was prepare him for the high place that he was still going to go. So if you have been given a dream, if you have been shown things that are for you, that you are meant to do, don't allow what is happening around you or the different seasons of pits that you go through, the low places, to deter you, because what is for you is for you. Only you can stop yourself from going to those places. His brothers did not stop him from going to those places, okay? So the people around you that are trying to cause warfare or wreak havoc in your life to try to hold you back, sabotage you, set you back, only you can allow it to stop you from getting to the place that you are meant to be. Essentially, what's meant for you is meant for you. They cannot stop it. Once you realize that what is for you, it takes away the power that others have over your life. Okay, and the last lesson that I have is that being in the pit, it teaches you that life doesn't always have to stay the same. So sometimes when we get in those hard seasons, those tough seasons, we feel like we will be in there forever. And to be quite honest, those seasons feel like they take forever to get over with. I remember when I was in one of the more tough seasons of my life, I felt like it was gonna never end. I didn't have much faith for that season being over with, but now that I look back, I see that there's some very great lessons that I was able to learn from those seasons. It can be easy to allow your mind to be tricked to believe that the tough seasons are longer than the great seasons. And if you honestly are somebody who has just gone through a lot in life and had a lot of not good seasons, I'm not here to take anything away from you. All I just want to say is shift your perspective. And even if you are somebody who feels like you've had a lot of tough seasons versus good seasons, trust that it doesn't always have to be that way. And when the opportunity comes where you can have a shift in your season, because in that story there was opportunity that came to Joseph that allowed him to be able to be shifted into a new season. When those opportunities come, take them. Again, don't allow yourself to sit in such a negative place that you're not even able to take what you need from the situation to get you to the next season of your life, to take you from that hard season that you have had to endure. All right, you guys, so that is all that I have for this video. I hope that these things helped you. I hope that if you are in a hard season that you're able to take these and apply them and really see why you're in this season. And not why as in it's your fault, but why as in what is the lesson you're supposed to learn from this season. I feel like when we learn the lessons quicker, we're able to get out of the seasons quicker. Okay, so if you're able to do that, then do that. Release the negativity from the season of the pit, or even any negative feelings that you may have towards anyone who you feel like may have put you in the pit. What I have found is a lot of times the villains in our story are actually there to help us to get to the place that we are supposed to be, okay? So what has happened doesn't excuse any behavior, but a lot of times those very people that come after us are the very people that help us get to our destiny. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you have a great day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.